Doc here with the Humboldt X YouTube channel, and I'm on Kneeland Road. It's about a 40-mile road and starts in Freshwater and ends down in Bridgeville. So I'm taking the 40-mile journey, and along the way I'm going to stop off at several significant historical spots such as Kneeland-Iaqua, the Lone Star Junction, the Yager Junction. I'm going to end my day down in the historic town of Bridgeville, and I'm going to take you all with me. So stay tuned, hang with me. Let's get to it. This is, we'll pull over, and this is the beginning of the road here. So we're going to begin the first leg of our drive here. This is Myrtle Avenue that runs right through here, and this is Freshwater Road. There's the bay and all that straight out, but this road right here runs directly right up to Kneeland. So this is where we're going to start our drive, and there's Greenwood Heights right there as well. You can take that around, and Greenwood Heights goes up and around. But we're going to take the Freshwater route and get up to the top of Kneeland here. Going to make our way through Freshwater. There is so much history back in here that I'll have to make a couple of videos. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not a historian. I'm just fascinated by our history, and I'm more of a student of history more than anything else. But we're going to follow this up, and it's so beautiful back in here. It goes to the top, and Greenwood Heights comes back and around, and it meets up here at the top where Kneeland, there's an airport, and the old used to be post office up here and school and all the rest of it. So let's get our way up the hill here. Yep, the old schoolhouse right there. Ooh. Welcome to Freshwater. Just small little community in here. It's beautiful, man. It's just another beautiful spot in Humboldt. Boy, there's a lot of frost on them roofs. It's not terribly cold, but it's in the upper 30s, you know. The further inland you get, the colder it gets. Especially up in Kneeland. I think the elevation gets above 2,000 in that, and they get more of 4 seasons up there than we do closer to the coast. I'm gonna make my way up to the top of the hill here. This is where Greenwood Heights comes out right here. And so you can go around, and the other way tends to be a little more narrow, but we're going to keep going up the road here, and this is Kneeland. There's an airport and a school and that up here, and you really start driving out of the redwoods, and get into what's really all the prairie lands up here. And Kneeland Road goes right down the heart of all that prairie land through Iaqua and Yager, the Yager Junction, Lone Star Junction before that, before it drops down into Bridgeville. I don't know if it's pronounced Iaqua or Iaqua. I really don't know. So I'll it's probably not the first mistake I'll make during these videos. I'm just doing the best I can, but we're going to get ourselves up to the top here and yeah, stretch my legs a little. Wow. It's beautiful up here. It's looking south, and that's where we're headed, down there. And I'm at the intersection of Mountain View Road and Kneeland Road. Just on the other side where it starts opening up here. And Mountain View Road's right up here. And well, let's walk up the knoll here. This is the intersection. And this is Mountain View Road. Runs off to the east and goes down into the valley and that. Kneeland's such a beautiful area in Humboldt. It's important to recognize that this is Wiyot native land. And the Wiyot were here for generations and generations, long before the settlers started arriving, you know, during the gold rush and that, around 1850. But Humboldt really sprung up because of Humboldt Bay and the redwood logging. So that really kind of kicked off all the movement out here to Humboldt. But it wasn't the only thing. There were major ranches here in Kneeland, this whole area, all the way down to Bridgeville and over in Prairie and all of that. And this area here was originally known as Kleiser's Prairie. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But in 1852, a rancher named John Kneeland established a ranch up here, and then this area started to be known as Kneeland's Prairie for the longest time. And then things started springing up. The post office was established in 1880, and the mail was being postmarked as Kneeland, so I think that's kind of when the name stuck. And that post office ran from 1880 to 1891, and it shut down for a year, and I don't know why that is, but it reopened in 1892, and then it closed down, I think, in 2011. So it was in operation for quite some time. But the other thing is, there's some dark history out here. As all the ranches started getting established up along this, down along this road here, was a lot of battling with the Indians. I mean, you know, our native folks were here, and imagine being on this land for generations and generations, and all of a sudden, a string of white dudes showing up, and they started battling. It was really horrible. I don't want to make light of it. It's really dark history. It's just, you can't change it. It's just kind of what it is. But this road was Kneeland Prairie Road and Round Valley Road. And it was started to get built, and they took it all the way down to Bridgeville, which is what we're going to follow in here. And this road was has a lot of significant history in Humboldt. It was one of the main pack routes from Eureka down to Blocksburg. And then there was another one over there that goes through to Prairie, and that. The Highway 101 wasn't there, and this was one of the main roads. So that's why we're going to drive it. I think it's Kneeland Road's, I don't know, I think it's one of the most scenic roads in Humboldt as far as I'm concerned. So let's continue to make our way down. The Iaqua Kneeland Cemetary is down here, and I'm going to stop off over there and continue to make my way down. Man, quiet. It's beautiful out here. Couldn't pick a better day to come out. All right, let's keep going here. All right, make my way down the ridge here. Make my way down off the ridge. It sure is a lot of switchbacks, but I'm pretty sure this is Lawrence Creek here at the bottom, and this is the Lawrence Creek Bridge, I believe. And I'll just say that I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I don't mean to, but I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm going to get down here and pull off for a sec here. So beautiful down in here. There's a series of creeks up and down Kneeland Road, this being one of several. You can see the bridge over there. It's all private property down in here. Wow. All right, just stop real quick, and it's quite an elevation change. I mean, it's probably 700, 800 feet drop, but we're going to keep making our way here and keep it cooking. Just so you know, I don't go on Humboldt's Backroads without a forest map. It's just, you know, you want to come out here and be prepared. So, all right, let's keep it cooking, man. Back at the top of the ridge again here. I'm going to pull over because man, quite the view here. See the ocean off in there. It's looking west. So you kind of see the bay in there. Wow. Getting closer to the cemetery right up here, but it's just so beautiful out here. It's hard to not stop and get a bird's eye view, man. I'm already about 20 miles in, so let's keep going here. This is the Kneeeland-Iaqua Cemetary. So I'm going to pull in real quick and take a little bit of a walk and see what's up here. Wow, there's some significant historical folks that are buried in here. I just want to take a quick ride, and it's just an active cemetery, so I want to be respectful and just walk it real quick, you know. 1881, look at that. Wow. What a place to have your final rest. It's not clear where the Iaqua name came from. But apparently it's Athabascan Indian for how do you do. But this whole area in here was the area of the Nangadal tribe, and there was quite a few folks out here, part of the village. But as near as I can tell, when Humboldt got established right around 1850 around the bay, the fourth little city that got established was Humboldt City, and they had a building that was called the Iaqua Public House. That's kind of the soonest that I can find anything as far as where the name actually came from, but this is, you know, a lot of the descendants from the families up here are buried out in this cemetery, and I don't want to, boy, I just want to be respectful. I'm wearing walking here. The Shaws. So that's part of Tom Shaw and Tom Shaw Road, which I already drove past out here, so. $1888, I can't read the name on there. Isaac, oh, looks like Isaac Gert. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that, but, well, here you go. Gift, pardon me. It's Albert Gift, Alan Gift. Make sure I'm walking in the right spots here. The Shaws, they're all ranchers out here. George Gift, 1950. John Gift, so. All right. Just pretty historic cemetery out here. All right. I keep making my way down, and I think I might know where the school was, the old school. It's not there anymore, but the remnants might still be there. So let's go, we stop in the area anyway. Another view of Humboldt Bay in that. Look at that, that's beautiful. You can see the jetties. Straight out Humboldt Bay and North and South Jetty. But, all right. Let's keep making our way down Kneeland Road here. I'm going to pull off real quick. I believe, and I'm not positive, but I believe the old Iaqua School is right up on this knoll. Wow. It's peaceful out here. This is my style, but the Iaqua School, I believe it's up on this knoll, this hilltop here. It's private property, and but it went into service in 1876, and it stayed in operation until 1922, and then it closed, and they combined it with the Lone Star School, which is about 3 miles east of us. And we're going to get up to the Lone Star Junction in a moment, but it's private property. And the property owners had it taken down just for squatters and, you know, people getting in and checking it out. But I believe the remnants are right up here. So getting closer to the junction. This is that's Slater Road. And it takes off and heads out east, but coming up to the Lone Star Junction. It's right up here around the corner. Yeah, you can see it right where that barn's at. Wow. Let's stop real quick and walk up to the rock and get a bird's eye view here. Wow. Really get an overview of the valley up here, man. Just take a walk up to these rocks. Wow, it's beautiful, man. So that's the Lone Star Junction. And I just met the lady down there. She's her name is Dina. So thank you, Dina. I appreciate you spending time. Dina and her husband are 5th generation. And she gave me the proper pronunciation. It's Iaqua is the proper pronunciation, and it's Yager. So thank you very much, Dina, for clearing that up. I really appreciate it. So the Iaqua Ranch is somewhere down in here. All right, man. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make my way down Kneeland Road here, and it goes right past the Iaqua Ranch too. So I'm going to make a stop over there and check it out, man. All right, I'm going to keep making my way down Kneeland Road and get down to the Iaqua Ranch. I am going to stop at the actual junction here. This is the Lone Star Junction, and it's one of the spots you'll find on like Google Earth, Lone Star Junction and the Yager Junction. So get down here and pull off for a sec. Well, welcome to the Lone Star Junction. This is it. It's so beautiful out here, so wide open. It's quite a bit of an elevation change. I think the height is 28, but you go up and down the valleys here. The Lone Star School was right over here, and it's Showers Pass. I think I misspoke and said Snow Pass or something. I don't know. I'm good for a few mistakes, but that was the rock I was just on there just a minute ago. This is a beautiful drive. It's important to remember that there's 0 services out here, and I'm 20 miles in. So if you run out of gas out here, that's just what you did. You ran out of gas. Showers Pass Road that way, along with Mountain View. And Bridgeville, 17 miles that way. Kneeland and Freshwater is about 20 miles behind us. So it's a beautiful drive, but you definitely want to make sure you're prepared because there ain't nowhere to get gas. So, all right, I'm going to keep making my way, drive by the Iaqua Ranch and check it out, man. It is Lone Star Junction. I swear, if you go out Showers Pass and Mountain View and Redwood House, which is up further here, Redwood House Road, there's so much history out here. It's pretty incredible, and all the history is a significant piece of Humboldt's history here. Again, this pack road here was built in the 1870s, and this was the route. This was a major inland route from Eureka down to Blocksburg, and it was referred to as the Kneeland Prairie Round Valley Road. So, see if I can't make my way, and next stop's the Iaqua Ranch here. I believe, but I'm not totally certain, that this is the beginning of the Iaqua Ranch in here. Oh, it says it right there. Gosh, I guessed right. Let me get out real quick. Sometimes I surprise myself. Wow. I guess I didn't know they had a sign marked, but there you go. We're at Iaqua Ranch, at least the beginning of it. I'm going to walk up here, and I recognize this outcropping in that oak tree. That's old. Actually, I don't think I'm going to walk over there. I'm pretty certain that's private property, and so I'm not going to do that. I'm very sensitive to folks' property out here. The ranchers are great people, and they're very nice, but they're also very protective of their land, and rightfully so. But this right here would have been Iaqua Ranch, and then again, the earliest owner, at least that I could find, was Hiram Cooksey, or Hiram Cooksey, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, somewhere around 1860. And all this land that was being ranched, you know, they were warring with the natives, you know, settlers come in and start claiming land, and the Homestead Act of 1862 started claiming lands out here, and it's just the way the history rolled. But in 1863, they built a military installation out here. It's referred to as Camp Iaqua, and I've also seen it referred to as Fort Iaqua. So it was the guy by the name of Lieutenant Nipfausen Gear and about 40 men built the military installation down here around 1863. Of course, it's long gone now, but just to help with the ranchers out here because of all the conflicts with the natives. And again, it's dark history. It is what it is. It's important to recognize it. But yeah, man, that's beautiful, man. It's all ranch land. I just wanted to get the bird's eye view because I don't want to video anybody's homes as I go through the ranch there, so pay attention. So I don't want to be doing first aid on myself. Okay, let me keep going down Kneeland Road and drive through Iaqua Ranch, make my way down to the Yager Junction. Pardon me, Yager Junction. Thank you, Dina, for correcting me. All right. Keep cooking. All right, let's keep going, man. What a beautiful drive. Making my way back down the ridge here from Iaqua Ranch, but this right here is Yager Creek. So get out real quick and check it out. So this is Yager Creek. I'm still on the Iaqua Ranch lands here, but Yager Creek, one of the major creeks up here. I mean, there's several, but and this oh yeah, you can still see we're on the Iaqua land here. But it Yager Creek flows all the way down. I think it goes on Redwood House Road and that, but it flows all the way down and meets up with the Van Duzen down near Carlotta. A little bit of a canyon in there. Look at that. Fishing City, man. Wow. That's beautiful, man. All right. I just wanted to stop. It's going to be hard putting this video together because I've just got so much, but whatever, I'll figure it out. All right, well, keep keep making my way down and get down to Redwood House Road and where the Yager Junction is and all that. So let's keep it cooking. Oop, look at that. Couple deers checking me out. Yeah. There he goes. I saw a buck earlier across the road, so all right, let's keep going. This is Redwood House Road right here. Bridgeville's about another 9 miles. I'm gonna maybe pull off. Maybe not right there, but I'm gonna get around here, and it's quite the road. So let me pull over real quick and walk a little bit. Wow, so this is Redwood House Road, and this actually goes all the way down to, comes out down in Carlotta and that. But this whole Yager Valley in here and South Yager Creek and all that, and we're going to go down to the junction. The junction's right over this hill, and you kind of drive down there a little bit, and we'll stop there in a minute. But in the 1850s, this was a significant travel corridor for the pack trains. And I believe, from what I've researched, is the road from what was referred to as Kneeland Prairie, which is Kneeland Road, was built, and it was completed. It made it all the way down to Camp Iaqua. Then they finished it up here, and then in somewhere around 1875, somewhere in that range, and made it down to Bridgeville. And what was referred to as, well, originally McAtee's Crossing, but then became Robinson's Crossing. But Redwood House, this is Redwood House Drive here, was one of the other roads here. Look at that. So it's 26 miles to Kneeland. Add another, I think, 9 to get down to Freshwater. So we've driven, 35 miles, and then Bridgeville's another 9 miles down here, so we're on the last leg. But the Redwood House, which is, down here, and there's an old barn. The house is long gone. And then the Redwood House School was up there as well. But that's another video, I think. I'm really trying to stick to Kneeland Road and the history up and down here between Kneeland and Bridgeville, but that's it. Redwood House Road goes all the way down, circles back around, and it drops down into Carlotta in that. So I'm going to keep going, and I'll stop at the Yager Junction, and I'm going to drive by what I believe is the old Yager School. And I'm not going to stop because I think, folks live there. So let's keep going and make our way down to the Yager Junction here. So this whole area in here was Yager. And there's a couple historic homes back there, but people live in them, so I'm not going to video them. But I'm going to keep going here, and there was a hotel and a school, and I don't know when they were built, but there's a reference to them in 1889. And we're going to drive by what I believe is the original school here in a minute. So let me get around the bend here and make my way. So this school here, I think this building here on the right is a school, and I'm going to drive by slow, but this building right here. Oop, I don't want to film anybody, but I believe that building we just passed was the Yager School. Again, it was built sometime before 1889, and it was in service to around 1934 or so, but now it's private. So okay, we're going to get up to the Yager Junction's right up here. This is it. Welcome to the Yager Junction. I'm going to stop and get out here for just a sec. This is the welcome to the Yager Junction. This is it, and you can see it on Google Satellite. Both of the Yager Junction and then Lone Star Junction up there. But this is South Yager Creek right here. Down here, you can hear it running. But in the 1850s, this junction right here was a significant part of the pack trains that used to come through. Can you imagine on a wagon taking this whole road up through to Eureka? It'd take them 3 days from Blocksburg to Eureka following this road. But in 1872, they established a post office here, and it was referred to as Yagerville. But it closed in 1874, and in this road, again, it's referred to as the Kneeland Prairie Round Valley Road. It was completed in 1875, down to Bridgeville, which we're a little ways off. We're going to go down, it's about 9 or so miles. But the post office closed in 1872, and then it reopened, or pardon me, 1874. And in 1880, it reopened, and it reopened as Yager. So I think that's where that's the name that stuck. But on the county maps, even then, the Humboldt County maps, it was still referred to as Yagerville. So, well, that's cool. I'm pretty sure that was the school building down there. I think it closed in 1932 or 34. I can't remember now, but I don't know where the hotel used to be, or if one of those buildings back there was it. I don't really know. I didn't want to film anybody's houses. So, well, cool, man. I'm gonna make the last leg down to Bridgeville and walk the historic town of Bridgeville, man. It's cool down there, and check out the bridge, man. All right. Kind of the last leg. It's about 8 or so miles up here, and then the Highway 36 is right there at Bridgeville and the river there, the Van Duzen. Huh. A couple helicopters cruising. Not something you see every day. Huh. Who knows? I'm getting close to Bridgeville now. It's just right down here around the corner. Well, welcome to Bridgeville. I'm gonna drive through, I guess you can call it the middle of town, but I'm gonna go around to the 36 side and walk the bridge here. But this is we refer to as downtown Bridgeville. Post office right there. I'm gonna get to the other side. This is the third bridge that was built across the Van Duzen right here. It's quite a storied history too. So I'm gonna get to the other side. I'm gonna walk the bridge back and walk the downtown area a little bit here. The road to Blocksburg. But I'm going to pull over here and take a little bit of a historic walk here. Oh. Welcome to Bridgeville on the 36. I swear when you come through here, realize the town back in here, and because the bridge, when Caltrans built that, kind of bypassed the town there, but 36 this bridge used to connect right through here. But this area in here was originally owned by the Nungadal tribe. And but some of the first families that arrived in this area was the McAtees, John McAtee, and the Whitmores. And the Whitmores owned a ranch. It was Joel Whitmore, about 3 miles west of here. But the earliest mention of this crossing was Sergeant R.B. Harris and detachment for the 1st Battalion Mountaineers wrote that they had camped on the Van Duzen at McAtee Crossing. So that was the first reference, and I don't know exactly where. There's the Van Duzen, look at that, it's beautiful. But this area was first referred to as McAtee Crossing. In fact, the first Humboldt County map in 1865, it shows McAtee Crossing here. And the other thing it showed on the first Humboldt County map was the Whitmore Crossing, which was up a little bit further. You can see where there's the newer bridge kind of bypasses all of this. And now by 1870, the Hoagland family sold their ranch, is about 1,500 acres, to William Slaughter Robinson in 1870. And then this became known as the Robinson Crossing here. And he put in a ferry, and it was how they got across the river here. Man, it's a Van Duzen. It's late in the day, but see where we came down? We came right down there. That's Kneeland Road, and it cuts around here. But this bridge, there was a few bridges here actually. The first one was completed around 1875. It was a covered bridge, but it was built too low. And I can't confirm one way or another, but there's a footing down there. Look at that. Like some old barrels or something, but that's a cement footing down there. I wonder if it's a footing of the old bridge. But once the first bridge was finished, This was no longer referred to as Robinson Crossing. They started calling this area Bridgeport. And in 1877, the post office got established out here. And Bridgeport had already been taken. There's the Bridgeport's on the eastern Sierra, it's on the other side. So, you know, over there by Lee Vining and on the other side of Yosemite and all that on the 395, Mammoth and that whole area. But Bridgeport had been established. So because of that, they established this as Bridgeville. And in an article in 1877 by the West Coast Signal, they described this area here and they referred to it as Bridgeport. And they also mentioned John J. Hale, who owned the property adjacent to the bridge, which I think was right in here. But in 1879, tragedy struck, and there's a huge storm that ran through here, and the river rose quickly. And John J. Hale and his young son and 2 other men came out to check on the water. And the bridge collapsed. And they all fell in. And they were saved except for little Johnny Hale, and little Johnny Hale didn't make it. And he was swept down the river. They actually found his body approximately 12 miles down the river, so it's pretty tragic. But the second covered bridge was rebuilt in 1879. And I really wish I knew if those footings down there are part of the original. But the second covered bridge was built way high, way higher. And look at the other side here. See a couple barrels down there. Take a walk to the other side here. John Hale built a hotel here, and I think, based on the pictures, I think it might have been where this red building was. I recognize this corner here. And take a walk over there. And John Hale sold to Ed Barnum, and Ed Barnum owned this area. He was the second owner here. But I think that might have been the area here. The hotel burnt down. I mean, the hotel and the store all burnt down, and there was another building that used to exist right here as well, just from the old photographs. And there's an old chimney over here too. Yeah. This new bridge was built in 1925. Yeah, I think it was the Bridgeville Hotel. It was 24 rooms, and I think it was right here where this red building was. But it got burnt down in 1919, that and the store here. But I don't think there's any original buildings left, to be honest. And this chimney here was one of the houses that were right on the corner from the historical photos I found. Yup, look at that. Pretty old building over there too. I don't know if that's historical or not. This was quite a hopping place though. It's a general store, the post office. That's the new post office there, but none of these buildings are original anymore. Pretty historic corner in here. Bridgeville was pretty hopping because it was a thoroughfare for the pack trail. But the next family that owned it, Henry and Maria Cox, moved to Bridgeville in 1909. And in 1912, they bought the town site from Ed Barnum. And they ran the store in that until Henry Cox died in 1934, and his son George took over and ran the store in that and the post office until 1955. But he passed away in 1966, and he was 77 years old. But when he retired in 1966, his daughter took over. And it was Laura June Cox Paulus. But she wound up selling it in 1973 to Elizabeth Lample of LA, like $150,000 or something. And I believe the trust of Elizabeth Lample still owns it. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of town history in here and all the old buildings in that. This bridge here was built in 1925, and it was designed by John Leonard. He was the same gentleman that designed the Fern Bridge, you know, that connects over that crosses the Eel over there by to get over to Ferndale. Same guy. So that wooden bridge that was here, the second one, was here for 46 years. And you know, this monstrosity here. But there's all the vehicle traffic. You can still see the lines in the road. That was built in 1997 by the state, Caltrans, you know. And just kind of bypass all of Bridgeville when it was done. Big old monstrosity. Amazing. I've been through here I don't know how many times and realize how much history is in Bridgeville and all the way up Kneeland Road. You know, that whole road, you know, it's 40 miles, comes out right here. It's a significant piece of Humboldt history, you know, the pack trails, the inland route, that was it. They'd come through there on their wagons and that, man, 3 days. And they come through here and cross the bridge and then, well, it's up on the road there, but it continues straight through. That's how you get out. That's Alder Point Road. It goes out to Blocksburg and Fort Seward, and it keeps going. And that wagon train would go took 3 days from Eureka to Blocksburg. So, yep, there's 1925 stamped right there on the bridge. Look at that. Cool, man. Wow. Well, just another historical journey in Humboldt's back roads, man. I swear, I try to do the best I can. I make mistakes, so my bad. I'm sure I made more than one, but I do appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate everybody who's subscribed to the channel and continues to support. And thank you very much to Dina and her grandson that I met out in Lone Star Junction. I really appreciate your time and kind of filling me in a little bit on your family's history and helping me pronounce Iaqua right and Yager and George Henry Cox. Yep, it's one of the original families here. There's the church over there. There's Cal Fire in that. Back in the town on the other side. So, well, been a long journey and well worth it. If you're ever going to take Kneeland Road from where I'm at Highway 36 and take it all the way to Freshwater, you want to be prepared. There's nothing out there except for beauty. But have a full tank of gas. Personally, I wouldn't take a car out there. I'd go with a truck or an SUV, but personally, I don't own a car, so take that for what it's worth. Well, thank you so much for watching. You know, my family and I greatly appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below. It's free, and we appreciate spreading the word. So from my family to yours, celebrate others, respect yourself, because love is powerful, man. And we'll see you on the next one.